Welcome to Maths with El Profe Lo. Okay, so working with some elementary number theory, going to be looking at the Euclidean algorithm. Okay, so in previous videos, we talked about how it is possible to find the greatest common denominators of two integers by comparing sets of divisors for the integers. However, there is a more efficient algorithmic method, which is called the Euclidean algorithm. Okay? So we have a lemma here that says that if a and b are integers, where a is greater than or equal to b, which is greater than 0, and a is able to be written in terms of b times q plus r, where q and r are integers, then the greatest common divisor of a and b is equal to the greatest common divisor of b and r. Okay. Now, the Euclidean algorithm is a set of steps that you can go through to always find the greatest common divisor for two integers. And especially when these integers are fairly large, you don't have to find the sets of divisors first, okay? So for the Euclidean algorithm, you're going to say that a and b are integers, with a being greater than or equal to b, which is greater than 0, right? So two positive integers, okay? By the division algorithm, there exists a q sub 1 r sub 1 or a q1 r1 that are integers such that a is equal to b q sub 1 plus r sub 1, right? And this would be, like I said, how you look at it from the division algorithm, where r sub 1 is greater than or equal to 0, but less than b, all right? So r sub 1 is going to represent the remainder. So if r sub 1 is greater than 0, so if you have a remainder, then there exists a q2 r2, right? A new quotient, a new remainder that are integers, such that b, right, is equal to r sub 1 q sub 2 plus r sub 2, okay? And that's going to be where r sub 2 is positive or 0 and less than r sub 1, okay? Then you continue this process. Until r sub n is equal to 0 for some n. If n is greater than 1, then that greatest common divisor is r sub n minus 1. If n equals 1, then the greatest common divisor is b. Okay. Now, that seems like a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo for many students when they're first looking at it. And it is very important to understand that this Euclidean algorithm is easier to understand by observed examples in practice. So in this video, we're going to look at the example. And then in the next video, we will look at a couple of practice problems. Okay. So if we want to find the greatest common divisor of 803 and 154 using the Euclidean algorithm, right, we will use this piece, right, that a is equal to b times some quotient plus a remainder, where I is going to be 1 to n, right? And a is 803, b is 154. So 803 is equal to 154 times 5 plus 33 by the division algorithm, right? How can we check that information? Well, here's what we can do. Okay, I can say 803 divided by 154, and that gives me 5, so there's my quotient, and then some remainder. So I'm going to subtract out the quotient, focus on the remainder, multiply by 154, and that's where my 33 comes from. So I can double check 154 times 5 plus 33, right? That is the 803, okay? So then I'm going to take this 154, right, I'm going to take this 154 and look at what comprises of that. Well, 154 is going to be 33 times 4 plus 22, once again by the division algorithm. So how can we check this? We can say, hey, 154 divided by 33, there's the 4, subtract out 4, multiply it by 33, and that's where the 22 comes from, all right? So 154 is equal to 33 times 4 plus 22, all right? Then we take this and we go again, okay? Well, 33. Well, 33 is equal to 22 times 1 plus 11, right? So then we go again. All right, 22 is equal to 11 times 2 plus 0. Note the 0 here. So since in this first, second, third, fourth, since in that fourth step we got 0, the Euclidean algorithm terminates, and that greatest common divisor is going to come from right here. Right? That greatest common divisor is going to be 11. Right? Of course, you could use Wolfram Alpha or something similar to double check your answer, but these are the steps that you would be expected to show. Right? Euclidean algorithm, steps are easy to see, clear, concise, right? And that greatest common divisor is 11. Okay. In the next videos, we'll work through a couple of practice problems to ensure our understanding. Okay. This has been Maths with El Profe Lo.